The first thing is that everything good that we can say about what Israel is doing doesn't interest the people who are promoting anti-Semitism. Israel is helping the Palestinians. Israel is making an unbelievable effort to make sure that they are not hit by the coronavirus themselves. This is praised by the international community. Who cares about that? The story from the Palestinians and from those who oppose Israel's existence is that even during the days of coronavirus, you have to continue fighting against it. And if you follow the Zoom, I do a little bit, when you follow the Zoom webinars of the BDSers, this is the message. We have to continue with the muqawama, with the struggle against the existence of Israel, even when we fight against the coronavirus. It's true, says Omar Barouti, that if the Israelis will come up with a vaccine, we shall use it. But then we shall continue fighting against its existence. So coming back to what Ilan said before, it's not only about our contribution to each and every country. It's about the contribution of Israel to the better life of, better welfare of the entire world. That we also have to learn about that. Maybe this was going to change something about the attitude of some of the people who listen to Barouti. But I think that the reasons that lie behind this matter is, first of all, they think that they can use this matter in order to approach the audiences and make them be more hostile to Israel and to the Jews. Now, many of these audiences are audiences that are ready to accept this message, like radical Muslims, like many of the Palestinians, like the progressive in the West. But some of this audience, you would expect that following this message of extreme anti-Semitism in days like that would make them absurd in the eyes of liberal groups in the West, like people inside the Democratic Party. Unbelievably, this is not happening. This is not happening. If you follow, let's take a research center like the International Crisis Group, which is not progressive. It's liberal, maybe hard liberal, but not progressive. They issued a paper about Gaza in which they actually parrot much of the messages of the anti-Semites. So you ask yourself, what's going on here? Because when I look at the national security aspects of what's going on here, I'm really scared that this message can gain more support inside the liberals. And this may affect the Democratic Party in the United States that was mentioned already. And we need the support of both parties in the United States. This is a major element in our national security. And we should be concerned about the ongoing process of what's going on in the Democratic Party. It's and not only there. We see other left-leaning parties around the world who are not fighting against this message. And Israel needs Europe, maybe less than it needs the United States, of course, less than it needs the United States, but it still needs Europe. And you listen to Joseph Borrell, the way he accepts some of these messages, this is really frightening. And so we should be worried about the implications for national security. Secondly, they use it in order to promote their well-known political purposes, political goals, like easing the siege over Gaza or releasing the prisoners and things like that. On these issues, they get support from some people in the liberal ranks. It's something that's very concerning. Third, they use it in order to divert attention to their failed, I'm talking about the Palestinians, they use it in order to divert attention from their failed performance when it comes to their own needs, like health and the way they spend the money on corruption and on paying salaries to terrorists and on building tunnels. If they just took all that money and used it in order to build better hospitals, they would have been in a much better situation. But putting the blame on Israel makes it easier for them to skip the necessity to deal with these problems. And third, and maybe the most important thing, is that it's not only a tool for them to promote certain goals in a cynical way and gain more support. It's that many of these people really believe in what they're saying. Be it as ridiculous as it might sound, they really believe in what they're saying. Because if you look at the leadership of the Palestinians, be it Haniya on the one hand, or Abu Mazen on the other, they really believe that Israel is that bad. This is the story that Abu Mazen tells his constituency again and again. And they form the diplomatic agenda rhetorics based on these beliefs. So when you listen to the Palestinian Prime Minister Shtia blaming Israeli soldiers for spreading the disease by spitting on Palestinian cars, or for being interested in keeping the Israeli economy working on the expense of the health of the Palestinian people, this is not something that he uses just for cynical purpose to promote these ideas. These are things that really manifest what he thinks about Israel. This anti-Semitism is there, and what we need to do is not allow the Palestinians get away with this anti-Semitism. We spoke about here on all kinds of sources of anti-Semitism. We didn't speak about the Palestinian Authority paying salaries to terrorists to kill Jews. The way they reacted to the attack yesterday in Ma'ale Adumim, promoting the guy who carried the attack as a hero and a martyr. This is something that should be addressed by the international community and not left aside, because we actually let these people promote anti-Semitism. This should not be allowed.